Okay, we are live.
All right. Good morning, guys. Saturday, 10 a.m. Another wild week. And then an hour ago, some more news came out. More tariffs on the EU and on Mexico. So the market is news sensitive. And now it's news sensitive as we're approaching the summer. What does that mean? That means the market's more illiquid. It means the market is going to become more sensitive. You're going to see pockets in the market. But these tariffs, you got to realize what they're sensitive to, and then there's other things. People say, okay, there's a tariff, so this automatically has to go up. No, it doesn't automatically have to go up. You got to understand what the market is, understand the environment, understand the position of the market and its relationship. And what we try to also do is when the president initiates tariffs, okay, what's the other country going to do? What are they going to come back with? And that's what we look at too. Okay, so it becomes a little tit for tat. So there's other opportunities there. But what does this do? It exposes the market. We talked about this 2 weeks ago when the president talked about tariffs on copper and it exposed the copper market. So what does it do now? It puts everything on the radar screen. So last week, we talked about it with Brazil. So what happens since that? Well, what do you say? What's one of the major things that comes out of Brazil? First of all, when you drink orange juice is one. Drink orange juice, it's not coming from Florida. Okay, it's been blended in over the years where there's more of it coming from Brazil than coming from Florida. So you drink a glass of orange juice and it says Florida's orange juice. Okay, there's a lot of Brazilian orange juice in there. So what happened? The news comes out. But remember, the price of orange juice has been a little wild. We've traded at the beginning of the year. As of right now, I think on our commodity future side, orange juice is our most profitable trade of the year. As of now, we're having a good year. But look at orange juice. Orange juice news comes out. Limit up, limit up. You can't trade orange juice. You can't buy orange juice. Okay, now, the point I'm trying to make is if orange juice was up here and the news comes out, okay. But because it's down here, and we've been trading this, okay, we caught a nice orange juice move. Okay, so like I said, just a move from here to here in orange juice has given us our largest futures trade of the year. But now you got room, but this was on the way down, so people were trying to get out. This got them out. So think about it, we're right back here, but here the market was trying to get out and do anything to get out. Now they'll do anything to get in, and they can't get in because it's limit up, you can't trade. So this is where you got to pay attention to what the price of the markets are and the positions. Another one.
What's the contract for that?
Yes, I'll put it up. Okay, yeah, actually, you know what? This commodity futures, there's no uniform plan. Some of them have different months. This one is November. OJX 25. November orange juice futures. Another one that's sensitive, coffee. And we've been in coffee. And coffee got to a point where you took out the weather part, you took out the speculative part, and then what happens, especially in these soft commodities, they exaggerate or they extend. And that's exactly what happened in coffee. So we've been trying to grab the extension, and now we're trying to trade. We think that's another one. Look at the price of coffee. This is a serious down move. Look at this down move. It may not look as serious as orange juice, but it is. And we know why this happened. Okay? Because weather and affects cost reduction, but it's a very illiquid market and it's very speculative. So people were all in up here, okay? Not down here, here. So now they're trying to get out. You get to the areas and then you have the extension down. So now we think the coffee market, we don't think it's going back up here because the weather is not there. But the fact that the market now, let me clean this up for you, because now it's here and was here the market was trying to get out. Now the market is out, probably leaning to the short side technically, so we think the price of coffee can bounce. So that's another one. Now that's different. Now there's different symbols. Okay, it depends on your platform, but this is a September contract, KCU 25. We think this is another one that has room to bounce on the upside. We think this one can only bounce. Orange juice we think actually can continue to go higher. But you see how the tariffs make everything sensitive? So you got to understand the commodity before you just jump in. You can't just be impulsive, I want to buy it. Okay, you got to understand where it is. These two were sensitive. Now, what just came out? We had news come out about an hour ago. What's sensitive to Mexican tariffs? Okay, I think we put a 30% tariff on Mexico and the EU. There's not a lot of foods. There's a few things. I think some of them, in my opinion, some of them might be soybeans, the price of cotton. Okay, but nothing very influential. Now, here's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, here's cotton. I don't think it's going to be as impactful. Okay, I don't think you're going to see cotton do one of these. I just think cotton's been quiet. So you see the point, if cotton was down here and blew everybody out, then I'd say it's good for cotton. But the fact that cotton's around here, okay, it's going to make a little noise. That's the point I'm trying to make. Price of soybeans has come down a lot. Okay, so now I think you want to start looking at soybeans. Okay, $10 soybeans is actually very cheap. Okay, but this is also one of those abstract contracts. So I think this one, with the rest of the grain market, can start to work its way higher. This is SX. This is November soybeans. So I think soybeans are next to have a nice bounce. Now they could just get back into this area. That's all. But it's a nice bounce in commodities. Why? Because it's down because of other commodity, other grains, corn, wheat, different grades of wheat. So they go down with the tide. Now you got a little news, they should bounce up. Okay, that's just going against the tariffs. Why? Because this just happened an hour ago. So that's why I'm going to bring it up. Now, other things we're looking at. Metals markets. Okay, if you've been following us for the last month and a half, 2 months, you know what we feel like. We said platinum is the leader, and what's the sleeper of the summer is silver.
I have a question on silver too.
Yeah, we do?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the question first.
Okay. No, he's saying, Reed is saying, how about you go over Hecla?
Hecla. Okay, well, if you look, we put out a clip on that. First, I'm going to show you silver, and then I'm going to go to Hecla. We said silver is the sleeper of the summer. Now I'm going to look back. If you go look back, we made a couple of clips. One was on June 22nd, and one was on June 8th, where we said, this is the one people are not paying attention, and they're not going to be able to trade it. Well, here goes silver, guys. 14-year high, and in my opinion, just starting. Okay, you got down to that area, which was the beginning of June, just when we talked about it. Said, pay attention. You're not going to believe what you're going to see. And I've been trading silver for pushing 5 decades. 80s, 90s, evens, 10s, 20. Yeah, 5 decades I got silver under my belt. You can't, there's no way in the world you could explain a silver scenario that I wasn't involved in. I've lost so much money and made so much money trading silver. And when I recognize things that are unusual, which is very rare, we try to put it on people's radar screen. If you go look at the videos, we said silver's the sleeper and no one's going to pay attention. The hard part now is how do you get in? Because now it looks like it's gonna just keep going, but it's not just gonna keep going straight up, and it's gonna be so hard to buy. And now you got to change your parameter. You got to change the way your style of trading, because you just went from a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit to a 100-mile-an-hour speed limit. So you got to be able to adjust. But look at silver, 14-year high, going to keep going. So the silver equities, they're going to start to go. We made a clip last week. Why? Because now it's become our largest silver position. Hecla Mining, HL. We think this has got room to catch up. Okay, now we're on good levels. We may even add a little more because we think this one's going to go. Look at the rest of the silver stocks. Coeur d'Alene, Pan American. We said if you like silver, you got to be long Pan American silver. It's the best silver stock to have for the move that we think silver's going to have. Look at Pan American silver. Looks like the silver chart. Getting ready to go.
What's the ticker for that?
Yeah, Pan American. PAAS. PAAS. Pan American silver. If you want to be long silver that's got meat to it, this is one you want to have on. You want to be long silver that we had on, and they merged with our favorite company, Coeur d'Alene, CDE. We never were a fan of Coeur d'Alene, but we're a big fan of Silvercrest. Well, now they're together. Now look at Coeur d'Alene. Bang, bang, bang. Just keeps on going. See the point, guys? These things go. Now, the hard part. How do you trade through these? How do you navigate? We're in the middle of July. If we're in the middle of April or March or October, it's a different market. Now you're in the summertime. You have the markets that are going to have pockets. This is our edge. Our edge, hands down. I wish every month was July and August, because people don't know how to adjust. You have to adjust the way you're trading. We're going to adjust the way we have it trading. The best part is we got what we have on is going our way. So that's even better. So just a couple examples. Okay, we talked about silver. Gold market is starting to catch a nerve. What's another one we've been on? The platinum market. We said platinum is just going to keep going. No one's going to be in the game. Well, look at the platinum market. Because I want to show you some examples as well. Look at the platinum market. Do you remember what we said? We made a giant video on platinum on the 8th, June 8th. So let's go down to June 8th. Should be right around here. And we said, guys, and I can't remember last time I said this. I said, this is different. I've been watching platinum for a while. The fundamentals have turned. This is different. So normally if you bought platinum here and you got up here, you had a great trade. We had made a special video. Said, we're not selling. You want to take your trade. It sounds like a great trade. This is different. What do you think? Is this different or what? We haven't seen this in 15 years. Okay, I remember these trades because I was in these things back in 2010. Platinum is just going to keep on going, and people are not going to be in. There's a difference in trading silver and trading platinum. Most commodities have natural consumers, natural producers. So you know there's going to be selling above, you know there's going to be buying below. When you get to these two metals, it's very different, especially platinum. There are no sellers above. Silver doesn't have enough selling above. So they're on their own. These become trade like meme stocks. And people are going to want to get involved. People didn't know how to know the difference between platinum and palladium, or they thought platinum was just something, you know, with jewelry. Platinum is not something with jewelry. Platinum right now is a speculative metal. So it's very different. So all the jewelry that you need for a year, you can hit a button 2 times if you're a hedge fund or an institution putting it on as a recommendation. You buy all the platinum that's consumed for the year. That's how small the market is. But people say, well, look, just what happened to gold. So I'm going to buy some platinum. I'm going to trade it like gold. You can't trade the two the same. It's 1/5 of the production. So if you have the same people that want to buy platinum, and platinum historically has always been more expensive than gold, where are they going to buy it? That's why you get moves like this. So now you got to know how to navigate.
What's your contract for platinum?
Yeah, that's another one. Good point. Because you know what? This is another one. They have active contract in platinum. They're all different. This is October platinum. Okay, this is an October platinum. $1,400 an ounce. So what do we have on? If you've been following us, you know what we have on. If you've been following us here, if you've been following us since the beginning of the year, you know we have a platinum stock that we love, and we've just added and added and added, and now we're getting to a point where we're going to start to hit spots. SBSW. You know, I know you've heard this name before. Okay, you want to look at it now. You want to enjoy it. Look at this write-up. How cool is this? And we made a couple of videos over the last few weeks that when you get the lines, you get a setup, you do a little work. You get a line, you get a setup, you do a work. Same thing. Now we got the next line. We said we're going to do another setup. Now you got another line setting up. We're actually now getting to an area. Now we bought so much of this down here. Okay, it's our best play. It's our longest play as far as amounts. We love this stock. I love this stock. Every time I tell you I'm referring to myself when I tell you what I'm doing. We're going to start to hit targets now. Now think about this. You know, you're a natural. If you have a trading mentality, you're cashing and cashing and cashing. You say, wow, what a great trade. Okay, now when you hit the nerve, you're missing the boat. You're missing the big one. So if you sold it here whenever we thought everybody did, so you went from 3.5 or 3.5 to $5.50 trade, 50-60% return, you pat yourself on the back. Now you went from 5 to 8. Okay, you tried to make $1.50 and you did it was a home run. Well, you made $3 on this one, so you made double that amount. This is when you got to understand how to recognize the nerves. Now we think the market is going to start to chase. So now,
I just write the ticker for this one.
yes, I'll do it right now. SBSW. I've been writing this one for a year, and I'm going to have it now. The edge is now when we hit these areas, we got to know where to cash, because now they're going to start to hit nerves. And we've had a whole strategy on the downside. Now we got a strategy on the upside, because now we're going to start to feed it. But we're going to wait to hit the next gap and the next gap. So you got to have something you're going to board it with a 3 handle. Maybe you'll be able to sell with a 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 handle, which I think is feasible. How cool is that?
How can you identify where to cash out on these big moves?
That's where you got. That's the difference. That's what separates us, in my opinion, from everyone else. Why? Because I've seen this already. Right now, what tells you? Well, why didn't I sell it here? Why didn't I sell it here? Why didn't I sell it? And we didn't. Okay. Now we're getting to the areas where it's going to get to the area. If you belong to the group, we will. I'm pretty sure the whole group has it on because we've been smiling for a while now. Now we're getting to our areas. We're going to wait for it to come to us. Now it gets like a magnet. When something goes into newer highs, it's in cyberspace. So there are no areas. People just throwing stuff at the wall. I don't throw stuff at the wall. Okay. I understand how to read a chart. I understand how to read the positions of the market. I understand relationships. So now where things can wind up going. The time of day when it's going to happen, the time frames, what's going on in the month, all these little nuances give us areas. So I do have a bunch of targets now, and I think we're going to get to them. Okay, so if we belong to the group, we're all going to be on board, in my opinion.
All right, guys, if you have any questions about trading, any questions about how we trade at RNTR, put it in the chat here, put it in the comments section. How about we move on to the next?
Yes, okay. Now, Just want to show you what's going on because we've concentrated a lot of these positions. We've cashed out of a lot of our oil stocks. If you remember 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, we bought a bunch of oil stocks when oil came down. We've sold them all out. We had ExxonMobil on. Okay? Remember, we grabbed it down here, sold. We're out of ExxonMobil, cashed it in. Well, ConocoPhillips down here, sold. We're out of ConocoPhillips. Devon Energy, DVN. I'm just telling you the ones. We made the clip about it. We sent a bunch of clips out on this. Bought a bunch of it down here, sold it out. Don't look like there's much. You want to know something? 4, 5, 6 points times it by 3 stocks. You made 15 points in a market that's not moving. How cool is that? Oil markets pretty much sitting between nervousness in the Middle East and when it pulls back to fundamentals. So take the money. Those we navigate. Metals we're not navigating because we're waiting to hit spots. That's the way we trade. Let me show you where we stand. This is us for the year, guys. We're making this up. Use this. And that's about where we stand. We're actually a little bit more than that. 185% for the year, guys. Okay, and all the trades, look at them. There's no home runs here. There's just tons of trades in our commodity sector. Gasoline, Hecla, Pan American. Look at these. Heating oil, silver stocks, copper stocks, SA, our largest gold position, ExxonMobil, we just told you about. That's what it adds up to. 185%. Guys, there's no home runs here. This is called aggressive trading. Okay, we're not investors, we're traders. I've been doing this for decades. When the time is right, you got to take advantage of it. We actually think July and August are going to be even bigger advantages, especially if you got the wind at your back, which we think we do. So as the things start to separate, if stocks don't go any higher, if the big name stocks become a little stale, and then these start to catch, what's people going to do? They're going to start to chase. And they're going to chase into the stuff we have. We are not reactive traders, we're proactive traders. We've been proactive waiting for this. And there's more of these on the board. I got another platinum stock I'm looking at. I'm waiting for it to set up. I got another silver stock. I'm waiting for it to set up. We got some other things that we're looking at that are going to be tariff sensitive. Because if the tariffs come in, then I want to find the lottery tickets. We grabbed the lottery ticket this week. It's already up 20, 25%. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for multiples in this one. So if you belong to the group, Will got it on. This is what I stand. The group is the same. They're all here. Okay, that's where we stand. This is the chat all day. All day. And you know what we like to see? Thumbs up, I guess the muscles. What do you call that? So we're all doing well. Hearts. Okay. Trade alerts. We tell you exactly what we're doing. Gold stocks. Yeah. Hecla. Oil stocks. I just mentioned everyone you talked about. We mentioned. Okay. On a radar. Tell you when we trade futures. We trade a lot of futures. Hearts. Okay. We got the bots that have been on fire. Joe Bot has been on fire with his trades. Last 5 or 6 weeks, it's probably up 25 to 30%. Okay, there's no way in the world he could lose that. So don't you want that kind of risk reward? Trading totally analytical, all of the algos, tells you exactly the parameters here. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. In markets like this that are choppy, 25 to 30%. I think it's 5 or 6 weeks. That's where you want to be on board. What do we also have? We got Guy Adami from CNBC. Talk about him. Questions, answers. The guy has a macro view. He's been on fire with his macro views. He gives us the ideas. I try to figure out how to get some strategies. Gave us a great idea this Thursday. Belonged to the group. Caught me off guard. Made me do my homework. Okay, there's ways to look at the market. He brought up such a good point. If you want to belong to the group, you got something we have, which will be set up, especially if the stock market turns to the downside. The stock market, not the overall market. So if stocks turn down, we have a way. It's not a hedge. It's an aggressive way to actually make money in a down market. These are what you want to see. Right? This is here all day. You want to join? This is us. Where am I going?
This
one?
Yep.
RNTR, guys.
All right, guys. This is our website, www.rntr.trading. Please do not take any messages from anyone else because we will not message you to join us. This is our only website. If you like, you scroll down here. You can sign up for our Joe Bot, or you can sign up for our all-inclusive monthly membership, biannual or yearly. Of course, you get discounted on the biannual or yearly about like 20%, but everything is all inclusive in our subscription here. You're not married to it. If you'd like to cancel anytime, you can. All right. Um, Also, we have the link at the top of our page on YouTube. So if you want to look at our website, it's right there. I'll keep this up on the screen. You guys can take a screenshot if you'd like or jot it down.
That's us. Guys, we don't fool around here. If you want to invest, if you want to be an investor, this might not be for you. If you want to be an aggressive trader and take advantage of these opportunities, the president is changing the world. He's making adjustments. The world is coming back, creating opportunities that I've seen before and I don't think people have. So when people do things, we're way ahead of them. We've been on these things for months, and then when they happen, people try to figure out, well, what's going to happen? We're already on the plan. We're on the ride. You want to make 10, 12, 13%? Passively, you do it. But when you can make 180% in 6 months, and I actually think the numbers in my head are a little nuts, so I won't even say it on the air here. But I actually think there's a lot more to come. The opportunities are still here. Where you're trying to make, over a 10-year period, you can make it in 6 months. How cool is that? You get to enjoy yourself. This ain't going to be on forever. This is going to go in. Everything's going to recalibrate. But while it's recalibrating, take advantage of it. We've been bearish the dollar for a long time. So last year, the dollar's starting to pull back sharply, the biggest move in 50 years. Everything's going to get repriced. That's where our edge is. We're way ahead of this. That's what we're doing. That's where we're making our money. We're being ahead of the game. We're being proactive, not reactive. We have never been uncomfortable. We have been balanced when you have things that don't work for you, because we have things that don't work for us. But when you have a nice book and a nice balanced book, it doesn't move the needle. That's the edge.
All right. I think that concludes it. Yep.
Okay. See you guys next Saturday. Guys, don't let this go by. These next 2 months are going to be opportunities like we haven't seen. Because then we're going to get to September and October. They're not going to be here. And while everybody's trying to chase and who's going to try to get into a trade that they missed already, we're going to be sitting there enjoying ourselves, watching and being same way as we are now, aggressive and always on offense. I'll see you guys next week.